Okay, good to see you all. Good to see you all. My name is Maeve. If you are new to me, I am in West Los Angeles. I would love to know where you're joining me from. Maybe by the end of class you can pop it in the message. I love seeing where you are practicing as we do this together, from our homes or wherever you might be. If you have blocks, you're going to use them to start. If you don't have them, don't worry, I'm going to give you an alternative. You can also get a towel or a blanket and roll it up, and you can use that. We're going to basically open our hearts. We're going to open our hearts today, because we need that every day, but I think we need it especially today. So, you can get those props if you need them. DC, I love it. And if you're using blocks, you can have the block on the middle height, high height, or you can go low and middle. You can kind of play with that. And the idea is to use something behind the shoulder blades, behind the tips of the shoulder blades, to give the sense of opening in the heart. So you carefully come on with the shoulder blades and then with the head. And then we just take a moment here in supported fish pose. And if you're using a blanket or a towel instead, you're just putting it under the shoulder blades and allowing the head to rest back. So the head will kind of come back a little further, the heart will be a little higher, but because you're lower down, hopefully it feels okay. And if you come here and it doesn't feel okay, just lie on your back flat. You don't need to use any props if you don't want to. And then we allow the front of the body to open. Cross the collarbones, deepening the breath. Noticing if there's any resistance. And if you feel like the shoulders are resisting or the collarbones are kind of bunching in, just see if you can breathe into that. So maybe center the breath in the heart for a few rounds, just getting that sense of expansion, contraction, ease. So I know there's at least one person, as I've been told via message, that's in DC, and we send you lots of love right now, collectively. Last few breaths here. And so if you're on any kind of a prop, especially on the blocks, if they're on the higher levels, very carefully coming off of the blocks and then coming around into all fours, hands and knees. Spread the fingers. Draw the chest open. And then inhale, just pull the gaze forward, pull the heart forward. Then let the belly drop gently, let the tailbone rise up. And then we reverse that, pushing away, rolling through the spine, dropping the head, dropping the tail. Initiate from the gaze, pull the gaze forward. Pull the heart forward. Allow the belly to lower, lift the tailbone. And then exhale, push it away. Initiate from the gaze, inhaling, pull the heart forward. Open up, and then exhale. One more time, inhaling. And exhaling. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Hips come high. Inner thighs gently drawing back. Heels hidden behind your toes. So if you look back at your feet, you just see the fronts of the feet. And then feel the crease of the hip, where the hip meets the thigh. Feel that lifting up as if there was a strap in that crease and drawing you back. Yeah, really nice, beautiful. Just moving with our breath. Inhale, come forward to plank. Keep some of that buoyancy in the hips without piking them up. And then exhale, lifting up, downward facing dog. 2 more like that. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. 1 more inhale. And downward facing dog with your exhale. Coming forward again, gliding into plank. Use your knees if you would like. Chaturanga, exhale. Come back up to plank, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. We do that again. Inhale, glide forward. Keep some of the buoyancy in the hips, front ribs to back ribs, chaturanga. Come back up to plank and downward facing dog. 1 more time like that. Inhale and gliding forward. Chaturanga, exhale. Come back up, inhale. Downward facing dog. Inhale, glide forward. Chaturanga, exhale. Pause, lower to your belly. Take your hands off of your mat wide. Tent the hands, so come into the fingertips, hug the elbows back, and then rise up. Push the tops of the feet down. This doesn't have to be high. This does not have to be high. Soften down. Hands by the ribs, tuck the toes, inhale. Open up the chest, exhale, push up to plank, and then releasing into downward facing dog. Inhale, right knee to chest, exhale. Place your right foot next to your right hand. Bring your hands on your hips. Open up the shoulders, so roll, like physically roll them back, and then draw the front ribs off of that right thigh. Bend the right knee more, hug the right hip in. Sitting bone pointing back almost, like it's kind of like down and back. Think about pulling it back. And then pull the front foot toward the back foot toward the front foot. If this is enough, stay here. If you want, stretch your hands for your left heel. If you want a little bit more, keep the angle of the body and take the arms overhead so the biceps frame the ears. Last inhale. Left hand pretty wide out away from that right foot. And then you're going to open up and kind of lean back into the shoulder blades. So you're going to lean back into the right shoulder blade with the weight of the right hand. You're going to lean into the left shoulder blade, connecting the left hand down to get more space here. Last inhale. Bring the hands back around, step to plank. Strong inhale. Strong exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Powerful legs, inhale, rise up dog or cobra. And downward facing dog with your exhale. Full breath in. Exhale, left knee to your chest. Place your left foot next to your left hand. Stay here. Bend the front knee, get the knee on top of the heel, then bring your hands to your hips. Roll the shoulders open. Kind of draw the elbows up toward the sky. Big bend in this front leg. Powerful right thigh. Energetically pull the feet toward each other. Feel the sitting bone kind of cutting in and down. Stay here. Reach the hands back for the right foot, or take the arms overhead. Check in with your breath. And then right hand nice and wide, left hand reaches up. Use those shoulder blades to open up the heart a bit more. Keep pulling the feet toward each other. And get that sense in the back that you're supporting yourself up. You're supporting yourself up. Beautiful, beautiful, yes. Really nice. I didn't spotlight my video. I'll do that now. Sorry everyone if you weren't sure how to do that. Stay in your breath. Really, really nice. Last breath in. So good. Bring both hands down. Step back. Lower down with control, with confidence. And then rise, heart to sky. And downward facing dog with your exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees, look where you're going. You're gonna bring your feet to the top of your mat. Walk, step, or jump your feet forward. Lengthen the spine into a half forward fold. Front ribs gently draw in. Pull the heart forward, and then keep the length as you exhale and fold. Root into your feet, rise, inhale. And then draw your hands into your heart as you exhale. Just a couple breaths here. Get your feet under you, stack up your body, feel the joints stacking up. We start just with breath, don't go anywhere. Release your hands down, don't go anywhere. Inhale, reach up. Your hands come to your heart with your exhale. Inhale. Hands into heart, exhale. Inhale. As you draw the thumbs down, lift the heart to meet the thumbs. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, half forward fold. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your heels with your inhale. Bend your knees with your exhale, feet to your hands. Halfway, inhale. Fold deeply, exhale. Rise, inhale. Hands into your heart, exhale. Inhale, rise up. Bow forward, exhale. Halfway, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, exhale. Lift your heels, inhale. Bend your knees, feet to hands. Halfway, inhale. Fold, exhale. Rise, inhale. Hands to heart, exhale. Inhale, lengthen up. Follow the breath, forward fold. Inhale, offer your heart. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, heart to sky. Down dog, exhale. Right leg back, inhale. Knee to chest, exhale, shift forward. Again, inhale, straight back. Exhale, straight down the center. Inhale, back. Exhale, straight down the center. Place your right foot next to your right hand. Back heel roots, warrior one, rise up the center. You're gonna hook your thumbs so that they are like these. Yes, warrior one. Pull the pinky fingers wide. Spread the fingers out wide. Press the triceps inward. Back heel roots down. Front knee bends deeply. Energetically, the feet are still drawing toward each other, just like we did in that lunge. One more inhale. And then sweep the arms wide, bring them behind the back. Lace the fingers. Inhale, heart to sky, yes. Take a couple breaths here. And then from this deep crease here, we're going to create a deeper crease. Coming forward. Deepen it, deepen it, deepen it. And then humble warrior bowing forward. So put a little bend in the elbows so that you are getting into the shoulders and not just pulling the fronts of the elbows or the inner elbow longer. Rise back up to warrior one with an inhale. Maybe palms come together. And then chaturanga, exhale. Rise, inhale. Dog pose, exhale. Left leg back, inhale. Knee to chest, exhale, shift forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale. Exhale, place your left foot next to your left hand. Right heel roots down. Virabhadrasana 1. We're going to hook the thumbs. Spread the fingers wide. Steady your gaze, steady your breath. One more breath in. Release the hands behind the hips. Switch the laces so the other thumb's on top. Yeah. Inhale, open. Couple breaths here. So shoulder blades supporting you, back rib cage supporting you, so you're not just dumping back, you're lifting upward. One more inhale. Coming forward, deepening that crease of the left hip, humble warrior, bowing forward. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Maybe bring the palms to touch. And then hands come down to the ground. Step back to plank. Chaturanga, optional vinyasa. You don't have to go through all these vinyasas if you don't want to. Come into downward facing dog and pause. We're taking that sequence a wee bit faster. The breath is still super long. We're just not holding the poses. Right leg back with an inhale. Right foot next to your right hand, exhale. Rise up, warrior one. You can hook the thumbs, but you don't have to. And then release the hands behind the hips. Heart to sky, inhale. Humble warrior, bowing forward. Rising up, warrior one. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, rise. Down dog, exhale. Left leg back, inhale. Place your foot forward. Warrior one, rising up. Hands behind the hips. We're alternating the lacing or the crossing of the thumb every time. Bow forward. Powerful legs, rise, warrior one, be a warrior. And chaturanga, exhale. Rise, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees, look forward, feet up to your hands. stand and hands into your heart. Beautiful. Inhale, chair. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Rise, open, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Right leg back, inhale. Right foot forward, exhale. Warrior one, rise. Release the hands. Open up, heart to sky. Exhale and bow. Rise, warrior one. Chaturanga, exhale. Rise. Hinge back, down dog. Left leg back, inhale. Place your foot forward, exhale. Root the back heel, warrior one. Hands behind. Heart to sky, inhale. Exhale, bow. Rise back up into warrior one. And then vinyasa or downward facing dog. So good. Just moving with your breath. This is in you. I promise you that it's in you. You don't have to think as much as you think you do. Or maybe you know you don't have to think. Fantastic. Instead, sensation, breath, be in your body. Be in your body. Rise high to your toes, inhale. Bend your knees, look forward, feet to your hands. Halfway, inhale. Fold, exhale. Chair, inhale. Press it up. Hands into your heart. One more time through chair, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, open. Down dog, exhale. Right leg back, inhale. Place your foot forward. Rise with the inhale, warrior one. Exhale, bring the hands behind the hips. Lace, heart to sky, yes. And bow forward. Rise, warrior one, reach up. Your exhale takes you through chaturanga. Rise, open. Dog pose, exhale. Left leg back, inhale. Place your foot forward. Warrior one, contain the front ribs. Exhale, release the hands. Lace and lift. Exhale and bow. Rise up. Vira one. Chaturanga. Exhale. Rise, inhale. Dog, exhale. Smooth out your breath. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, feet to your hands. Halfway, inhale. Fold deeply, exhale. Chair, inhale. Hands into your heart. Left arm outside your right thigh. Twist it, maybe open up the arms, arm balance, whatever you need it to be today. Beautiful. Beautiful. Hug that left hip back. 2 more breaths here. Really nice. This right hand's gonna come around. Block or floor, open up, half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Lengthen out the low back, tailbone toward the lifted heel, the left heel. And then stay here. Option to bend the left leg, the lifted leg. And with your hand on your sacrum, keep the low back long. Keep the low back long. Really pull that foot in toward your hip. And then maybe take the foot with the hand, keeping the length. Start to push the foot out into the hand, and then open the heart, but keep the low back long. So if you have the foot, you'll release it gently. Bring the left hand around. If you've got blocks, you can use blocks here. Make sure your right toes are square to the top of your mat. You're going to bring the left leg behind the right. We're just going to take a little pause here. Right knee bends a little bit. You can put the pinky side of the left foot down and then start to sink back into the right hip. Push the pinky side down. Good. Hands are on the ground or on blocks, and you're going to lift that left leg straight back behind you. Right hand lifts off the block. You turn to the right, revolved half moon. Same thing here if you want. You can bring your hand to your sacrum, kind of feel the balance of the hips here. Pull the foot in toward the hip, and then maybe find the foot, and then kick open from there. Just an option. You don't have to take it. Fantastic. Fantastic. And then chair. Delicately bringing the feet back together. Sinking into the hips, whole foot rooted down. Bring your hands into your heart in prayer. Right arm outside the left thigh. Open up if you want, keep your hands at prayer if you want, take an arm bounce if you prefer a little more heat. Every exhale, allow the belly to empty. Good. Yeah. So nice. Beautiful, beautiful. We're going to come back around through center slowly. Left hand floor or block. Left foot stays rooted. Right leg lifts. And we come into half moon. Bring your hand to your sacrum, to your low back. Sort of complex between the low back and the pelvis. And then feel the length in your spine. Then if you want, start to bend the right leg. Really pull the heel toward your sitting bone. And if you felt a big shift in the low back, see if you can pull the belly back a little bit to keep that fairly neutral, then reach for your foot. And instead of opening from the low back, open from the heart. So good. If you have the foot, you're going to release it gently. Bring the right hand around. Return that right hip around, and you're going to take the right leg behind the left leg. So you're going to start to bend the left knee. Put the pinky side of the right foot down, and then the left knee bends, and you start to sink the hips back a little bit. You're pushing into the pinky side of the right foot a lot. Notice if you're swinging off to the left side, see if you can pull that left hip back to keep the hips fairly square to the back of your mat, the front of your mat. And then with an inhale, stretch the right leg back. And then taking this left hand off the ground or your block and then taking it to the sky. Maybe you prefer to put it at your hip, that's great. Same option, if you want to bend the back leg, find your foot and then kick the foot away, go for it. Use your bottom hand as much as you can. So good, so good. With grace and calm, bring your feet back together. Chair pose, top of the mat. And then come down onto your backs, however you want to get there. Stretch the legs long and reach the arms overhead. Take a few breaths here. Push your thumbs down, palms face each other. Start to fire up the arms a bit. Every exhale, get a sense of drawing the front ribs toward the back ribs, toward the floor. Lengthen the legs, push the big toes together. Inhale, and then exhale. Everything lifts up. Inhale with control, bring it all the way back down, make contact. Exhale, bring it all the way back up. If you need to modify this in any way, go for it. If you're not sure how to modify it, maybe consider just lifting the shoulders, keeping the legs strong, or maybe just doing the legs and not the upper body. Play with it. Play with it. So if it doesn't feel good or right, find something that does. This is your practice. You make it fit you. You don't have to fit it. You make it fit you. And just like tasting anything, I relate to food a lot, but just like tasting or listening to something. You don't know if you like something until you try it. You don't know if it suits you until you try it. So you might try it. Sometimes you're like, no, there's no way I'm eating that. Totally fine. You don't have to eat this. You find something else on the buffet that works for you. Couple more breaths here. You look amazing. Yep. And then we're going to come up into boat pose. And we'll meet here. In Navasana, boat pose, your legs do not have to ever be straight. That primarily has to do with your hamstring mobility. So bend the knees if this makes this a little bit better. Hold on if that gives you more support. Bend your left leg, bend your right leg, cross your shins. Don't go anywhere though. Twist to the right. Come back through center, back into boat. And then bend the right leg, bend the left leg, twist to your left. And then back to center. We're coming into chair pose. If you want to roll back and rock into chair pose, you can do that. If you want to just find your way to standing, fine. If you want to just bring your feet down and start to get this sense of crawling from the ground up into chair, you'll do that. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands into heart. Left arm outside your right thigh. We twist open with an inhale. With an exhale, release the right hand around. hand block or floor, left leg goes back. Half moon or Chapasana here in this variation. And then left hand's gonna come around, release the left foot if you have it. Bring both hands around to the inside of this right foot. You can use blocks. Bring your left leg behind the right, and then see if you can put your palms down, and then sink down. Your right shoulder comes in front of your right knee, and then see if you can find this left foot with your right hand, baby grasshopper. And then think chaturanga in the left arm. And then push down to rise up. Revolved half moon. So you'll take this left foot if you want, or you'll expand it back. And then both hands down to the ground. Feet come together. Utkatasana. Hands into heart, right arm outside the left thigh, twisting to your left. And then left hand comes around. Find the ground, find a block. Half moon, any variation. And then we release it back through. Right hand comes down, start to bend the left knee. Bring both hands to the inside of this left foot. Take the left leg out to the side. Of course, you have the first version that we did without taking all this nonsense here, so you can just go back there. Right arm is like chaturanga, heart forward. Stand on that left foot. And then we open up. Right hand to the ground. Maybe keep that right foot open into revolved half moon. Feet come together. Forward fold, please. Beautiful. Take a pause there. Yeah, if you need to, shake out your head yes and no. So good. Beautifully done. Inhale, pull your gaze, pull your heart forward. Step your left foot back. Crescent pose with an inhale. Peel the spine up. Lift the pelvis in the front, soften it in the back. Pull the feet toward each other. One more inhale. Bend the elbows out to the side with an exhale. And then straighten the front leg. Stay on the left toes if you can. If you can, stay on the left toes. Bring your hands down to your right ankle. Or maybe your calf. Take your left hand to the ground. Come onto the pinky side of the left foot. Consider bringing this right leg with you and then open into Vashisthasana. So I'm holding the pinky side of my right foot. You can also take the big toe. You can also just take the knee. So good. Come through center. Both feet down, lower down to your belly, please. Take the arms out to the side, elbows bent. Take the gaze down. Lengthen out the back of the neck. Lift the elbows higher. Push the feet down. Stay here. Inhale or reach the arms forward. And then exhale, draw the elbows toward the ribs. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, draw back. Inhale, gaze is down. Exhale, draw back. Last two, inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands next to the ribs. Cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, exhale. Pause in downward facing dog. You can stay here, you don't have to come with me unless you want to. If you want, bring your feet together. Bring them to touch. Squeeze the legs strong. If you have a block, you can put a block between your inner shins or your inner thighs. You don't have to though. Lift your heels. Bend your knees. And then we're going to take some hops here. So you're going to look at your thumbs. You're going to pop your hips up. And you're going to land as lightly and quietly as you can. And then you pop. And you land. One more. And then everyone bring your feet to your hands. Lengthen halfway. Fold down and pause here, forward fold. Breathe. Balance your weight in your feet. Notice if you're resting back in your heels, move a little bit toward your toes while keeping the heels rooted down. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Right leg steps back. Peel the pelvis to lift the spine, crescent pose. Yes, this is a beautiful back bend. From that right heel up the leg, through the spine, through the shoulder girdle out the fingertips. In order to find that back bend, we've got to have some stability here. There's got to be some stability so that you have the ability to open up. So pull the feet toward each other. Yes. And then cactus the arms out to the side. See if you can stay on the right toes. Start to straighten the left leg. Bring both hands to your left leg. I'm going to leave it wide open here because I don't want to make the assumption that you can get to your calf or to your ankle. You're going to get to whatever feels appropriate. And then your right hand's going to come down to the ground. Use the hand on the floor. Feel the energy come up that arm. You're going to stabilize this right shoulder blade into the back, come onto the pinky side of the right foot, and then consider bringing the left knee or the left foot with you and come into Vashisthasana. Lengthen out your low back, lengthen your tailbone toward your right foot. And then come through center. And again, lower all the way to your belly. This time, floating the feet up. Hands can stay next to the ribs, pushing down, or take the hands behind the back, place the fingers like we did about 100 times in that first sequence. And open up here. Inner thighs lifting. Maybe bring the big toes to touch. If that feels like it gives any kind of compression in the low back, feel free to separate the legs. Listen to your body. Couple more breaths here. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Push the feet down. Hands next to the ribs, cobra or upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog with your exhale. Pause here, come into child's pose if you need to, or if you want to play for a moment, you're going to step your right foot in about a foot or so. Lift the left leg, pull the heart forward, lift the right heel, bend the right knee. Contain the front ribs, stabilize in the shoulders, spread them wide, and then take hops.
about 5 of them. And if you just want to take a handstand instead of hopping, that's fine too.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful. Really nice setup, Josh. Really good. Yes.
And then come back into downward facing dog as you're ready. Pause, feel your breath. Slow down. And then we go to the other side. And if you're choosing not to do this, you can also do a standing split or just do the foundation work here so that you don't feel like you're just holding down dog or child's pose for the whole time if you'd rather be active but not wanting to go all the way up. And as you do this, I can only speak from what I see when I'm watching classes more in person and what I feel when I'm doing this myself. Contain the front body. Think of that core work we did lying down in the back when we had the arms overhead. Think of that as your handstand. Think of that position, hollowing the belly a little and drawing the ribs back. That's your kind of your sweet spot to find it. Because I tend to want to go into the back bend. And then back into downward facing dog as you're ready. So good, so good. If you need a few more minutes or moments, go for it. And then we'll come into child's pose. So if you're still working and you want more, go for it. But if you've had enough, you'll come here. And then when you're ready, come onto your backs.
We're going to do some back bends. I'm just going to say this now so that if you want to go on your own kind of path, you're welcome to do that. We're going to do bridge and upward facing bow. If you want to work on scorpion and continue that work in your hands, you're welcome to do that if that's part of your practice. Otherwise, come with me now. Feet are flat, triceps press down, shoulders press down, and then pause. Don't actually even lift up yet. Feel your feet. Feel the center of the heel, feel the base of the big toe, feel the pinky toe. And then have that sensation of what balanced is here before we move, because it really shifts in the feet quite a bit. Let the heart open, guide from the heart, let the hips slowly rise, and then notice if there was a shift in the weight in your feet, and see if you can rebalance to any degree. Sometimes that requires you to come out a little bit from the back bend, at least in the hips. Maybe lace the hands behind the hips, and then perhaps you draw the shoulders under the body, but not down toward the hips, just directly under. And then just allow the heart to open toward your chin. Last breath in and release down with an exhale. So if you do have a block, you're welcome to put it between your shins or your inner thigh. I should have said that at the beginning. There's no pressure to use it. We're going to go back into bridge. If you'd rather go into Urdhva Dhanurasana, go for it. I'm going to give you a bridge variation, so if you want to hang with me for one more minute, then you'll do that. Push the elbows down, push the triceps down, broaden the chest. Slowly rise up. Knees stretch away from the shoulders to rise up. And then start to bring the shoulders under the body, and then maybe bring the hands to the sacrum, to the hips, to the top of the hips. Thumbs toward the sacrum. Come into the toes if you want. If you feel really secure here and very stable, first try taking up the right leg, and then perhaps the left leg, and then maybe you'll decide that you want to bring both legs up. So it's not quite a shoulder stand. You kind of let the hips get heavy, the sitting bones drop a little bit. And then just as carefully as you came in, I like one leg at a time if you're newer to the pose, and then release completely. And just receive that, see how that felt. And we have one more back bend, if you so choose to.
bridge or upward facing bow, hands by the shoulders or ears, rather, if you're coming up into up bow. Feel your feet. Inhale, rise up. Still stretching the knees away from the chest. Chest away from the feet, away from the knees, away from the hips. So looking for length in the spine, not just cramping it up and folding it in half, but really getting spacious here. And then chin to chest if you're in up bow. Everyone else, we all lower down together. Take the arms out to the side like a cactus. Take the feet wider than your hips. Drop your knees into each other. Soften your gaze, maybe even close your eyes, and just breathe here. Stay here if you want, or take both knees. Your feet don't change at all. Just take both knees over to the right. And then back into center, and knees over to the left. Knees back to center. Thread the needle. Right ankle crosses on the left thigh. Open the knee. And then lift the left leg up. Hold the left hamstring with both of the hands. Maybe you take that left leg up straight, move the right knee away. There's lots of variations that you can move into from here. So if there's something that you're craving, or if you just want to explore your breath and movement here, go for it. And if you've stayed here and thread the needle with me, I'm going to give you a couple cues to deepen this pose, because this is something we learned pretty early on, right? And depending on how your body feels, you might think it's simple. It's not. There's a lot going on here. So start to neutralize the spine, letting the tailbone get heavy, letting the sitting bones drop a little bit toward the floor and point straight ahead. Shin, ankle, knee of the right leg move away from the chest. So there's equal opposite pressure from the right leg into the left as there is left into right. And then rather than just that linear direction of pushing forward, pulling in, there is a gentle wrapping in this inner right thigh. The length of the inner thigh kind of shoots out that knee. So the right knee kind of goes off on an angle to the side and up. And we have the ability to take even the simplest poses and make them deeper, more challenging, kind of peel the layers off them to find something new. Last full breath here, and then switching sides. And so on your own, can you mirror the second side while still honoring that it might not feel exactly the same here, and modifying as needed?
through center. Apanasana, knees into chest, give yourself a squeeze. If you want, you can reach down, take your big toes, and extend the legs out straight or some variation of straight. And then releasing into Shavasana. Allow your head, your hands, forearms, shoulders, hips, calves, heels, whatever the heaviest points are in your body, allow them to be even heavier. And in allowing that weightedness to fall into your body, feeling that the ground will support you. You are supported. And in that knowledge, perhaps releasing just a little bit more. Allow the breath to deepen slowly. Reconnect to your body. And then slowly moving with your breath, make your way all the way up to sitting, however you want to get there. Once you're seated, bring your hands together. Press your thumbs into your heart. Lift your heart into your thumbs. Just a couple breaths here. It all starts with love from the heart. Our internal self-love, our outward-facing love. This yoga practice is a way for us to tap into that. We have to love ourselves more. Giving yourself this time is one tool to do that. Rising with your inhale. Bowing with your exhale. I cannot thank you enough for being here. Thank you for your practice. Namaste.